Nature has so much to teach us about life, about presence, about interconnection, and about leadership. Today, I want to share with you 7 leadership lessons from nature. We just got back from a week camping, hiking, and adventuring in northern Minnesota. We were along the north shore of Gitchi, which is the Ojibwe term for Lake Superior. It's always renewing and restorative for me to be in nature, to be away, and to connect with them. While we were there, the leadership lessons from nature were almost jumping out at me. And so I found myself capturing a few moments that highlight these leadership lessons, and I want to share them with you today. What you see here is a powerful waterfall at Cross River. Each droplet is probably insignificant, but together, thousands, millions, maybe even more droplets of water are powerful, shaping the path, the river. Getting in that would be disastrous. It even shapes rock over time. This is a reminder to me of the leadership potential of collective action. What I may do, what you may do, may not matter so much, but what we can influence and organize collectively can really make a big difference. This is a long exposure photo I took at night of the tent that the kids were in, settling in for bed, getting ready, maybe reading, maybe on their phones. It's a reminder to me of the lesson about moving from doing to being, especially for senior leaders who move from productivity and product management and their competence into being and inspiring and who they are and the influence that can have across an organization or an enterprise. This is another long exposure of the stars. When you get away from the city, you see so many more stars, and this photo doesn't even really capture what you can see. It's a reminder to me of the leadership lesson of perspective. We can zoom out and see ourselves as insignificant and one little being, one little speck of sand on this one little planet, and infinite number of planets and stars. And even in this moment in time, we can also zoom in and think about in all of that complexity and vastness and emptiness in the universe. Here we are as a being with awareness and breath and life and animation and aliveness and an awareness that we are aware, consciousness over consciousness. So whether you want to zoom out and see some insignificance in the challenges you're facing, or zoom in and see about the miracle that you are, I think the perspective can always be helpful to us. This is a pretty unique tree we found on a hike, and trees are strong and sturdy, can withstand so much. They seem so solid and inchangeable, and yet this tree shows just how adaptable and nimble and flexible they can be, particularly over time. It's a great leadership lesson about being clear about our purpose and our focus and where we want to end up, but being flexible, nimble, and adjustable about how we get there. One very early morning in the middle of the sleep, I needed to get up, and I really didn't want to. It was cold and chilly, and I didn't want to get on my sleeping bag and put all my stuff on and unzip and get out and get outside and then come back in and do all of that. And so I tried to avoid getting out of the tent as long as I could. Couldn't take it anymore, so I finally got out, feeling dread and like I had had a major loss at having to get out of the tent. But when I walked out, there was this beautiful sunrise that had I not needed to get up so early, I would have missed entirely. It's a great lesson about, we'll see. There's a great Buddhist story about great fortune that comes to a farmer, and he says, we'll see. And then that leads to great disfortune. And he says, we'll see. And in this moment, it can feel so critical. But over time, we'll see. What seemed like a loss and me having to get up when I didn't want to turned into a great opportunity to see this beautiful sunrise and the beauty that I would have otherwise missed. So we'll see. On the other end of the day, this sunset met me, and this was sort of a sad moment for me as I was watching the sunset. It was very beautiful and lovely being sitting on a dock on a lake in northern Minnesota and watching the sunset. But It had been a beautiful day, and I was starting to think about the end of our trip and coming back to reality and work and all of the things. And the sunset was sort of an ending for me. Turns out it was also a beginning. It was the beginning of the rest of the evening, which was great conversation and connection and relational warmth. It was also the beginning of sleep, which I deeply needed after a lot of strenuous hiking. It was also the beginning of the next day, which brought new adventures and new beauty and new connection. And so it was a reminder to me that even endings are also beginnings. And so, what might this ending, this staff departure, this end of a project, this end of an era, maybe even the end of an organization, what new beginning might it be opening up that we can move forward into? And the last leadership lesson comes from this tree growing out of this rock. Now, there's no dirt, there's no nothing underneath this. This is a maybe 20-foot tall rock above a river and waterfall. And yet, this tree somehow has grown and persisted despite all probability. Not only is it growing, it's probably been there for several decades, growing, surviving, and even thriving in this most unlikely or even impossible situation. It's a reminder to me that we can do hard things, that as leaders, we encounter many circumstances, situations, or challenges that may seem impossible to overcome. It might feel like that now for you, for your organization, or what you're navigating through. This tree is a reminder that we are more resilient, more persistent, and can do really difficult, challenging things than maybe it seems to us in the moment. So there are 7 leadership lessons from nature. It was great to be away and great to be in nature. I was able to be present and pay attention and be curious about all that nature had to teach me about leadership. I was thinking about some retreats, some conversations that I'd be leading coming up, and it was really great to be reminded of these lessons. And so I'm glad I get to be able to share them with you here. If you want to connect about other leadership lessons around coaching or leadership retreats, let's connect. But for right now, I have some laundry to do and I need to shave.